Hey everybody, Justin here.
And Tiff.
And you're listening to Friends with Death Benefits. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff about reactions, how to deal with people that are hurting, the appropriate way to approach people, and the appropriate way to take the responses that come along with that. We're going to talk about things that have helped us, things that we think might help us along the way, and basically just talk about our progress on this whole crazy thing.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? Welcome to another episode of Friends with Death Benefits. I am your host, Justin Paulson, with you as always, and with me is one of my biggest fans, someone who enjoys me to a great deal, including hanging out watching football, whether her team wins or loses, and I don't feel like her joy and wonder that she feels when thinking and being around me has anything to do with that, but ladies and gentlemen, Tiff Musson.
Hey, welcome to the show, guys. So glad you tuned in.
Thank you for all the nice stuff you said about me on the internet, Tiff.
You're welcome. I meant at least 35% of it.
I thought so.
Yeah. Has nothing to do with me losing a bet because the Bears lost.
That's not what friends do.
No, it's not. Monday Night Football, loving it.
Well, that's fine.
Loving it.
And that's fine.
And that's fine. How was your week?
It was okay.
Yeah, we're midweek.
It was, we're hanging out. We're getting in when we can. Mm-hmm. Getting these episodes fired out. Yeah. Doing lots of stuff, lots of ideas.
Yeah. Can I be really honest?
I think it's best. I
am super angry today. Like I'm my blood pressure's elevated. I'm perturbed and irritable.
Is that why you pushed me down in the parking lot?
Yeah. Well, no Justins were harmed in the making of this episode. Thank you. Disclaimer. But yeah, I'm really struggling with finding a balance of like how people are responding to me right now. And today it just became so much, and trying to find grace to show people, to think about what I'm going to say before I say it, to try to process through what they're saying to me in relation to what I'm going through. And I think I've reached my capacity of that. And I just want to kind of talk about how people respond and how it affects us or me to my situation, and wanted to kind of just bounce some things off of you, like fresh and raw and new. Yeah. Some things that maybe we haven't talked about.
And I think that's kind of, that works out really well. I think that's what's kind of cool about this is like we keep saying we like to do this in real time, and as real as time gets, as to where today this is what's on our mind.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of people asking us to talk more about what they can do for someone like us, what we need out of people, what, like I've had several people say things like, I've realized that I've never been through anything like this, and I don't really know how to act around people that have been through stuff. It can be awkward. It can be, people don't know what to do. They don't want to offend anyone, but they don't.
Yeah. And we talked about this a little earlier in some, in the earlier episodes, just about like some of the common responses that you get, the weird head tilts and the puppy dog eyes, and some people ignore you and some people, but something I've been kind of realizing through the last few weeks as I'm kind of navigating, because the smoke is cleared, I'm 60 some days out, and, the things have quieted it down, and that's kind of nice. But what I am recognizing is that people are continuing to reach out, but a lot of the responses I get right now, or a lot of the things I get, and they're by people that are close to me, really close to me, are, we can't just talk about normal things. And I know every conversation is going to start with like, hey, how are you today? And I have to really think about how I want to respond, because I feel like if I respond a certain way, it's going to be projected back on me. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So I'll get a text message that says, hey, how are you today? Or I hope you can find a way to smile today, or something like that. So I have to look at this, and I do this every single time. I have to look at it, and I have to think to myself, well, I'm not good today. But if I respond and say, well, today sucks, they're going to say some of the following. They're going to say, God, my heart just breaks for you every day. You're so heavy on my heart. Or every day I cry for you, or I'm sad for you, or whatever. And what that really does for me, or I even have one like rhymes with schmuzzer and schma, who will say things like, how's it going over there? Are you guys depressed? Well, yeah. Yeah, I am. Yes, we are. But I can't respond because people will say, like, they'll project it back onto me. So she'll say things like, or this person, whatever, will say, oh, gosh, I'm already not sleeping and I'm not eating because I'm just so worried about you. I have no capacity in which to take on your shit, too. Mm. So when I can't tell you the truth because you're going to put it back on me. Even the, and it may just be how I feel today. It may just be that I am like a raging ball of emotions, but even like oh my gosh, I'm just so heartbroken for you, or every day I cry for you. No, please don't put that on me, or use that term sparingly. You know,
they seem to think it's having a different effect than it is.
It is having, in the beginning, it's an appropriate response. You know, oh my gosh, Tiff, my heart is so broken for you. You know, I'm a mom, or whatever. And I can't even imagine what it must feel like, or whatever. That's an appropriate response initially. But now we're, 60 days post, and it's still happening, and it's still happening by the same people regularly. Mm-hmm. And I'm struggling with that. I'm really, really struggling with that because I don't want to take on any more. I don't know. And we've talked about this, like, people push and they push and they push because they want the information. They want they want to know, what are the feelings? Mm-hmm. How do you feel? What's your sleep pattern like? Are you eating? Are you doing this? What are you feeling? Like, walk me through it. I want to walk this with you. And then you deliver the information. And what happens when that information gets delivered?
It's more than they want to deal with.
It's more than they want to deal with. Because you aren't, none of us are built to deal, right? Some of us just are thrown into it. So I'm going to deliver the information that you have been browbeating me for. And then what?
Right. That's why 9 times out of 10, I don't think they realize what they're asking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of people. I've had several people say to me, like, I've never been through anything like that. And it's like, until you have, there are a lot of aspects of it that are hard to explain. This is one of them. I don't want anyone to think that, like, we don't appreciate all the support we get.
So, yes.
But this is just more of the real.
Yes.
Like,
this is the real side of it.
We're not going to bullshit you.
No.
You know what I mean? And it is everything's different. Your patience is different. How you look at things is different. Yeah. And like you said, it's an appropriate response a few days out. And yeah, it is. But from your end, is it almost an appropriate response because you're so out of it that you really don't give a shit what anyone says to you in those moments? But then when you've had a little time to think about it and you start to analyze some of it, and like you said, 60 some days out where you're like, man, it's like you're almost like you feel like you're like a little baby bird with no feathers in a nest that someone keeps checking on every day, and you're not eating the food, and they're pretty sure you're circling the drain, or you're that goldfish in the tank that's like starting to swim upside down, and they're like ready to flush you. They'll try a few more days, see if they can get you to eat some flakes, but
Right. It's not looking good.
They're about at the end of their options.
Right.
And,
yeah, but like it creates so much worry for the people on the outside. And God, I appreciate that you love me that much, that you are willing to absorb and be so empathetic to my situation, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And that's why I feel like such an asshole right now, even talking about it.
Right.
But it really is real. It is so much. You have to be delicate with the timing of things and the words of things. And I think that's why people just avoid me, is because they're like, we don't know what to say, and they're going to listen to this episode and they're just going to be like, I knew it. We were doing it all wrong. Yeah.
It's the big reveal. Fuck all of you guys. We don't feel that way, really. I think when we've talked about this, and I think this sounds a little crazy, especially to take it in as someone who is on the opposite end of what we're talking about, someone who's just, because I don't doubt for a second that anytime anyone reaches out to any of us or anyone and says, like, I hate what's going on, it sucks, I'm sorry, because it's like, it's the old cliche. I just don't have words. It's like you don't have words because there aren't any.
Right.
And I think we've talked about this, and this is the big reveal. Sometimes, even though it seems like the stupid thing to do, when you ask and we tell you, we're not looking for you to have the answers to fix it. We know you can't fix it.
Yes.
So more often than not, chances are we just want you just to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Just like, and I think that's where me and you are. I think that's why we spend so much time talking to each other, because we know we're not looking for that from each other, because we're going through the same shit. You'll message me in the morning, or I'll message you and ask you how you're doing, and you'll say, sometimes that's all I get. And you're not going to get out of me like,
what can I do?
We'll give you that sucks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? You cannot, there's no cure for what we have. And as much as you want to just take it from us, it is our cross to bear.
Just knowing that you give a shit.
Yeah.
Is enough.
Yes.
And you can stop right there.
Yeah. I have a friend who every day since Ethan was taken off life support has sent me a red heart every day. She said, I am not going to ever know what to say to you. She's a boy mom. She's got a whole bunch of boys. And she's like, I'm never going to know what to say to you. So every day I'm going to send you a red heart just so you know that I'm thinking of you. And she has done it every single day. Awesome. Every single day. And it's small things like that. And it's as simple as, and if I am on your heart, or, Justin's on your heart, which seems weird.
Does it when you really think about it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know.
Seem to be on yours often.
I do need to think about that. Like just even just to send it out transparent like that and say, you're on my heart today. That's it. That's all you need to say. Something else that really like triggers me is when people, and I am 100% guilty of this. I did this with you when your mom died, and probably parts that were appropriate and parts that weren't appropriate. And I've done it with other people, is try to be relational. Try to implement things that you've gone through or like whatever in relation to what I'm going through. They are not the same. They're not parallel. Because we know that no two grief journeys are alike. However, there are appropriate times for that, but it's certainly approached very inappropriately a lot. So it's like the dude who, is calling me sobbing, like uncontrollably sobbing, and saying that he knows exactly what I'm going through, and like in this moment of he's just in this moment of crisis, and then I'm trying to like just be there, and he's trying to relate to me, and I'm assuming that he's something of big magnitude has happened here, and he's looking for some reassurance from me, but he's also trying to be relational to me, and then reveals that it was his cat.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. What?
It's Sprinkles, Tiff.
Yes, yeah, it's Sprinkles. And I've definitely done that. Like after my sister passed away, like people who were going through some grief type stuff, I tried to be relational. I try to be careful and delicate about it because, again, this is my first time that I've experienced something pretty gnarly. And I went through this the first time where people would try to be inappropriately relational to me. Sometimes I just want to be able just to say it, and it just that's all it is. Sometimes I want you to be able to say it to me and it be all that it is. And it doesn't always need to be relational in that way.
And I think on our end, we need to be more aware of, and I think we have been, but on our end of it, if we expect that out of people, then we should reciprocate with when we do need more to let people know.
Yeah.
Because that's hard for us too, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's for me for sure too. It goes back to that you don't want to burden people with your stuff, but sometimes you gotta.
Yeah.
And when you gotta. And it's good to have a few people, you know, to.
And I would think that the people in my life know me well enough, that trust me enough that I am not afraid to ask for help. I am not afraid to reach out. I cannot put it into words what it is that I need sometimes. And actually, I would say about 92% of the time, I don't know what I need.
I know. I'll call the cops.
I will, I won't answer. So I can't tell you what I need if I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't.
But you don't have to feel like that's your responsibility. Not you, I mean the people on the other, you know what I mean, too.
Right.
Like, because I said, I know you feel that way when you care about somebody.
Yeah.
You wish you had the words to make them feel better.
Or you want to take that pain from them.
Yeah, you wish you could do that. And I know firsthand it comes all from a good place, but there's just a lot of screwy feelings that come along.
This is the reality, yes, is that
it's not always rational.
No, it isn't. Always, and today I am having an irrational day, and that's fine. I would also say, like, saying, like, on the other side of the coin with people who want to help. You know, you have the people who are the helpers. They just want to bring over the casseroles. I'm sorry you never got that lasagna. They want to bring, you know, they want to whatever. They want to do all the things. They want to clean your house. They want to do all the things. There are those people that it comes from a good place. But I would say if you're that person who's the outsider, you know, watching the griever, you need to check your heart, because it's like, are you doing this because you want to be the hero? Because there are people in my life that are so aggressive with their own self-importance through this process. It is maddening. Like, what do you need? Can I do anything? Or they're right there, the first on the scene, or they're bringing this, or they're whatever, and they're texting you every day, like, let's go for a drive, you know, let me take you for ice cream, let's hold hands and cry, like, and it's because, and some of those things come for and they all actually come from such a good place, but there are those people, I think, that just want to be that first responder for you. And so if you are that first responder, check your heart. Okay, this isn't a race. It's not a race to see who's more awesome at comforting the crying girl, you know, or the grieving mom, or whatever. It just evaluate where you're coming from when you're going in for that kill. Like, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, some people come so hard at you with the casseroles.
I think right. It's so many noodles. I think a lot, they want to fix it.
Yeah.
It boils down to subconsciously they want to fix it, and it's an analogy I just thought of just now because I'm quick on my toes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here to. That's why you picked me. Like, me and Liz, we've been doing the whole losing weight thing, changing the way we eat. It's not like, these couple weeks. It's like it's a lifestyle change. It's everything has to be different.
Right.
And you have to go forward, and that's how things are now. This is like an involuntary lifestyle change.
Oh, yeah.
It's like forced upon us, but it still is what it is. Everything is different.
And we don't know.
No.
And like, it's learn as you go. Yeah. It's crazy.
And because everything is different, it's like, like you said, you don't always for sure know exactly what, like, I'm learning all the time, like, like just today, for example, you sent me a voice message and said some really nice stuff. You know that.
Shh,
I know I'm breaking your character here. She's kind of a sweetheart, guys. At times, she started the day just a sweetheart. Now she's just pissed at the world.
She's a raging
it's been
maniac.
a long afternoon, but you know, I didn't know that's what I needed to hear, but that's what I, you know what I mean? It turned things around for me. It's like, especially when you're really feeling like just, you know, and like not only just about everything that's going on, but it kind of makes you start to get down on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, gosh, just like, and then someone reminds you, you know, your worth to them.
Yeah.
At least in that moment, you know, it puts everything into perspective.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Everybody has different things that, and that's also where it gets tricky. Because I would say on the one token to approach your people and be like, what is it you need from me?
Yeah.
And I'll try to do that. But then there's a lot of people that don't want to tell you. They don't want to talk about it. You know, you ask them, you're like, are you okay? What's going on? They say they're fine, but they're not.
Right.
It's a tricky maze to walk through.
Yep.
For sure.
Just like, so again, if you're the outsider, if you're asking us how we are, be prepared that it's not going to be good. Like, I can't tailor my answers forever. I'm already not good at it. I'm already like just a freaking open book. But be prepared when you are going to ask that I may say, well, I'm really shitty, or I hate everything, or whatever. Be prepared not to fix it. You can't. You cannot fix it. And just to be like, yeah, I get it. Or like, and not be ashamed to say like, yeah, I get you probably are having a bad day, or whatever. Like, or don't I don't know. I don't really know the appropriate thing, but like, just be prepared. Like,
it's it's like a double-edged sword, because you got to do one thing and expect another. I think the important thing to remember, and, you know, correct me if this isn't how you feel, but even when we seem unappreciative of the gesture or distant or unresponsive, know that we're able to put it into perspective. And there's never even if it's not necessarily what we need, or we don't know how to filter and take what's coming at us, we appreciate it nonetheless. We know that it all comes from a good place.
Yes, but sometimes we literally lack the energy to even respond. This is so fatiguing.
It's not you, it's me.
No, you know? It's 100% accurate. It's so exhausting. It is so physically exhausting. Not to mention just mentally taxing. So I don't respond, not because I don't appreciate, because I try to show my gratitude to people as much as I can. I'm just not the same right now. I'm not the overly squishy person right now, but it's just because it's all I can do just to do the norm stuff. And I never really knew I had a capacity, an emotional capacity, until this happened. Like, I am a vault. I'm a super duper expert at compartmentalizing and just being able to take on a lot, and to take on a lot of other people's stuff. And I just can't. I cannot do it. I can't. I am tapped. I am tapped out. And so if you're catching me on a day where you're sending me something and I'm not responding, it's not because I'm angry or because you said the wrong thing. It's because I just have no energy to do it. And I would really challenge people to text or say the first things that come to your mind. Don't polish it. Just be like, you know, a lot of people say, I'm thinking of you. And I really think those are genuine when people say that, like, hey, you popped in my head today. Or like, even just to text and say, hey, I was thinking about you. This has got to be so sucky, you know? Or like, I bet you're having a shitty day. Leave it at that. Like, that would make me super, yeah.
I'm something I've been trying. It's funny that it kind of reminded me of this. Is I try to tell, when people pop into your head, especially like lately, even before what happened, with mom, I was trying to be more conscious of that and listen to that intuition of like, why did that person pop into my, like, if I think like, oh, I should reach out to that person, I try not to ignore that.
Yes. That's so
as
good.
much as I used to.
Yep.
And also, more specifically, instead of just being like, hey, you popped into my head today, I try to be more specific with exactly what and why. Like just today, I've been having like I've just been weepy like these past couple, like just like this is like a prepubescent girl, just, and I like can't shake it to the point where it's like it's hanging on me so hard that like stuff that shouldn't make me weepy is, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's all very focused around my mom and missing my mom, but like I'm just getting like way more emotional the past couple of days about a lot more shit than I normally would, and I'm just trying to shake that off.
Yeah.
But where were we going with that? I don't know.
So you said something that you've been trying to do lately.
Yeah, a buddy of mine popped into my head. Music's a big one, which I think we're going to do an episode later on that too. Yeah. But certain music for me, especially stuff from like when I was a teenager, like when you first start to like listen to your own music, and come into your own as a person, that's usually attached with memories. Yeah. A lot of times. And some stuff I was listening to reminded me of a friend that I spent a lot of my early teenage years with, hanging out in his basement. And I try to reach out to him sometimes because we don't hang out that much anymore. And I just said to him, I said, hey, I was like, a screenshot of what I was listening to. And I said, this takes me back to being 14 in your basement. Instead of being like, hey, I thought about you, I just told him specifically like,
yeah,
hey, man.
I like that. Yeah,
and it sparked a conversation.
Yeah.
That's a conversation that didn't bum me out.
Oh, yeah. I love that. That's cool.
So I'm trying not to put that on people as much, at least when I'm the aggressor in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like when I'm the one reaching out, I could have been like, hey, I was listening to this song and it really bummed me out. It made me wish I was 14 again from when I still had a mom. And I wasn't trying to put that on him. And
sometimes it's good to leave out those details.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, we're learning all the time too.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to figure it all out.
And by no means is this like an episode about finger pointing or anything like that, but this is the truth of it. And I think this is stuff that people kind of do shy away from talking about because you don't want to be an aggressive asshole about people trying to be nice to you. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's just too much. So I'm kind of understanding and unpacking things as we go through this is that now I understand why people avoid me. Because
maybe it's not as irrational of a fear as you thought.
Not as irrational as I thought. I get it, guys. I'm sorry. But
everybody's trying.
Everybody's just trying to do their best out here. But I think it's important to know that we are doing our best to get better. We're doing things on our own to get better. One is, for me, is sheer denial. Just like lying to myself every day. Like, no, it's fine. He's just at camp.
He's having a really good time.
Yeah, it's so good.
You're feeding him well.
Yes. Yeah. But really, I mean, and there's a little truth to that. Some days I do have to lie to myself a little, or like I have to, I don't want to say compartmentalize it, but maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but like I have to kind of put it in different spaces or perspectives or whatever. I make no qualms about my faith and where I'm at with that. And I turn over a lot of my stuff daily, hourly to God. Mm-hmm. And because, and I know I've said this before, like the bullshit of God doesn't give you more than you can handle, and I think we should totally strike that from every record.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree. Well, and I like, for me, I look at it from a different viewpoint where it's like, well, we're not supposed to handle any of this. Mm-hmm. This is what God is supposed, this is what turning it over is, or whatever term you use. So, I lean on my faith a lot to heal me, but I do other things too, and we do some things together.
Yeah.
And we do some things separately. So
that's a big one for me. Is I find because I haven't figured out a way to be okay yet.
Yeah.
It's still very devastating. Mm-hmm. It's distraction for me.
Okay.
It's good friends. It's things to do. It's whatever's going to keep my brain away from the reality of it all right now. And I don't know how long I'm going to need that.
Yeah.
Probably forever to an extent.
I think everybody does.
I'll try to meet it halfway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To try to be a little less, codependent on everyone I know. But I'm finding that's my best option right now. Like, we got together and watched football. I don't remember crying at all the whole time.
Yeah.
At least while I was there.
You know what?
And,
you're right.
we had good laughs, and it's just, it's so effing much that I'm the kind of person that's always like looking to be done with it. Mm-hmm. The bad stuff.
Yep.
It's like, we got to get through this.
Yep. We want to hurry to get through it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And we've even said, like, we're going to get through this, and like, is getting through it anything more than just finding a way to be okay with it until your time's done? And until you realize that, and maybe I'm just realizing it right in this moment. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what getting through it means, is figuring out a way to be as okay as you can, because it's not going away.
No.
I've talked to people that are decades out from just, just lifetimes away from losing people that are still like, dude, they've listened and they've told me for no reason, just real vulnerable stuff to just tell somebody, like, it's been 15 years since I lost my mom, and I think about it every day. And like, that's the kind of perspective I have to, that's when I say we're learning all the time. Yeah. It's because for me, I'm about to hit 6 months, which it feels like time has just been standing still, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
it is really interesting how differently we view it in that way, because I kind of see it as walking through to get to some other side, and maybe it's unachievable. It has worked. I have done it before. I have walked through it, and I have gotten to the other side. And I was just saying to you this morning, like, or maybe it was yesterday, where I was like, I'm looking forward to being on the other side of this in, a year or 2 years post, and being like, God, remember that first.
And that gives me hope too, because like I said, I can only go off of this very short experience and how I'm feeling now. And I don't know what to expect, but I trust your judgment.
Yeah.
And time will tell.
Yep. I just, and I've said this to you multiple times, is like, you just cannot allow yourself to stay in that yuck for too long. I think you have to have it, and I think what you're saying is like, it's something that you're going to think about every single day. So as, the Christmases come and the, birthday parties and just the normal things, or whatever, and you can have a good time and you can do the norm and you can, participate in life fully. There may be moments there will be moments, maybe daily for a long, long time, where it will be heavy. It'll be just like an anvil, and then it's going to pass, and then you're going to go on. But like, and go on with your day and having a good time or whatever. And maybe sometimes it'll be so exhausting you'll have to just take a nap and sleep it off. Who knows? But life will keep going, and we will go with it at some point to a normal rhythm.
Right.
We will go back to some sort of rhythm. It's just going to look so different. And I know that neither one of us are going to stick in this yuck for a long time, because we are doing things to try to get better. I love to read and learn the study of grief and the human brain and how it affects you and that kind of thing is just fascinating. And I like to know how things work. I like to take things apart and kind of know how they operate and work. And I think the human psyche is no different. And so learning that and being aware of what happens to your brain chemically and treating our bodies good. You're trying to lose some weight and you're trying to get healthier, and we're doing the gym and you're getting back on stage.
Yeah.
And you're opening up a little bit more.
Think so?
Yeah, I do. I think you're way more open to, like when this whole thing first happened, even like 2 months ago, you were still kind of in that space, as it was just as raw and new. And it was a daily thing where you were just like, this is just so awful. It's like it had happened.
Right.
And you've just come so far because you're chipping away at this,
And maybe I don't see it as much.
Yeah.
From the inside out, but
yeah, it's just the same as like losing weight. I see it more on you because I don't live with you or see you naked. But it's happening, and I can see the transformation just as much with you physically as I can with you emotionally. And, and I think, and that's why I push so hard, like, listen, this is it's really called grief work for a reason, because it takes work and it takes intention. You have to be intentional about it. And it's okay some days if you just can't. I just cannot do this today. I just need to be in this yuck or whatever. But you can't stay there.
Right. I think that's something to help with that too, is focusing on those things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, because it's so easy to focus on the negatives.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you mad sometimes. It's one of those situations, like when you're mad, you want to be mad. Sometimes,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, I want to be mad right now. Like,
yeah.
And someone tries to cheer you up, and you're like, stop it! I want to be pissed off.
Yeah.
And it passes.
Yep.
But I think a good, thing to remember is a lot of that, and I think that maybe that would be a good thing to touch on, before we wrap up on this one. Is I feel the same about you, and like, yeah, there's progressions and regressions day to day, but you're definitely you're getting you're moving along, and you're making yourself.
On paper, it looks great.
Yeah, and I think maybe we should talk about some of the things that we've felt, for one, have helped us head in that direction. Some of the things that have been big for us as far as progression goes, and some of the things maybe we feel like we could use from people, that maybe we're not getting that, flat out just be honest about, like, I think this would be helpful.
Yeah.
What are, in your opinion, like, have you had any moments in the past 60 days where you feel like someone's done something for you, or you've had a moment where you feel like it's gotten you up another step, or around another corner?
Yeah. For me, like, just the way my brain kind of works, having people bring information to me has been really helpful. Like, somebody had told me, when you're having moments where it's just so awful and hard and terrible, and like you just feel like you can't breathe and you're being smothered, and you're just super, super in it, like in the deep precipice, that it only lasts for like 2 minutes. Like, physiologically, that response only happens for about 2 minutes. So that was like super helpful to me.
Yeah.
Because when I am having those moments, I am already telling myself, when I feel it coming on, like, let it happen. Let it happen. If it's 2 minutes of your day, you can do this. And that may happen 2 minutes every hour or whatever. But knowing that information that somebody gave me, first of all, that they took the time to see me in that information and deliver it to me, like, that was very thoughtful. And they know me well enough that they know I will implement that. Like, listen, I know this will be helpful for you. I want you to know this is the response that you'll have, and it's only going to last this long. And I ruminate on that a lot, and I don't even know if I've shared that with you, but yeah. So. And so that's been really helpful to me. Things like that, you know. I'm still getting cards, and I'm still getting messages from people that are they're just great, and they're candid, and it's just that honesty and vulnerability that we can share in that moment, and that they don't expect anything back from me is good. That's great. That's so helpful to me.
For sure.
How about you?
Nothing's helped. I'm not doing any better. No.
Oh my God.
Your eyes just got so wide.
Oh wow. I thought we were going to have
a turn. No, it's been, friends have been big for me. Just people just like, just knowing people give a crap, you know what I mean? Is like, and even in just little ways, just like, and that's what I'm trying really hard to focus on. Is like, you know, you've told me and other people have told me, like, obviously I have all this other stuff going on, you know, all this uncertainty with my house and all this different things too to worry about. And I feel like I have a good core group of people, you being one of them, you know, that's like, we're going to get through all this together, and no one's going to let you guys, you know, fall through the cracks. And in moments where I feel, because I relied on my mom so long in my life, and like she was such a huge part of my life, that you do feel a little alone. You know, you feel a little like that safety net's gone.
Yeah.
Whether that's emotional or whatever. So for me, it's been just knowing that somebody cares. And I'm lucky enough to have more than one, you know.
Yeah.
Having my wife has probably been the biggest, like, I don't think I could have done it by myself. And I say done it like it's over. Like, I've beaten grief. I win. What are we doing next? But it's just like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like the roller coaster of it, and having someone right there.
Yeah. You need somebody to champion you.
Yeah.
Through this, like, listen, you're still awesome, and
I know you're right. I gotta remember that,
and I believe in you, and all. Yeah, having people to raise you up, and I am very, very, very fortunate in that I have built an incredible circle around me. I don't know if I've duped them or what, but I have such an amazing team of people in my life that are just have been doing life with me for a long time, and new people are always coming in, and there's kind of this inner circle of immediate, like, people that I reach out to, just whether or not it's availability or it's just who I trust and I'm comfortable with at that time. And then right outside of that is a little bit of a bigger circle, and they kind of tag in and out, and I love that. And there's people that are permanently in that inner part, and then, or whatever, but it is also really fatiguing for the people who are the supportive staff, and
especially when you don't know what works and what doesn't, and what you should do and what you shouldn't.
It's very much trial and error. So the people who have stuck with me through this, people who have stuck with you through this, like, the gratitude is unmeasurable. Like, I cannot and will never be able to express my gratitude for the people, because I know I have to be unbearable at times.
I'm a big noticer of little things, like, and maybe I don't always notice them in the moment, but it always comes back around to me. Like, my best friend, Nick, he, and I'm also learning even in my mid-30s how different adult friendships just are from young adult and teenage friendships, and just how much more time life takes. You know what I mean? And nobody means to spend less time together or call each other less. And it's not a personal thing. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. It's like, oh, I don't hang out with that person like I used to, or this or that. And for me and my friend Nick, he's got 2 kids and a wife and a full-time job, and we don't communicate as much as we did in our early 20s and we were going out to the bar all the time, but anytime I call him, he answers. Anytime I invite him over, he comes over. And anytime I've ever needed him, I've never had to ask.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And that's super big, like, for me, because, like, I'm such a girl in the way that's like, you should just know what I need. I don't want to have to ask you. You know what I mean? My wife says I have lady tendencies, and she's not wrong. They are there. They're very obvious sometimes. But, like, you know, like, I called him that, I don't know, a couple hours after Mom died. And he just said, I'm on my way.
That's amazing.
Well, nothing else to say. It wasn't, do you need me to come over? It wasn't, are you okay? Is it okay if I come over? It was just, I'm coming over.
Yep. Yep. I've got those people. That is huge.
I didn't realize it because I was a blubbering mess, but at my mom's funeral, I had a very hard time. Everybody's different, but I had a hard time, like, walking away from all that. You know, like, at the visitation, I had a hard time. At the funeral, I had a hard time, like, walking away from the casket. Mm-hmm. I think because I, like, in my head, it was like, okay, this is the last time that you're spending, like, real physical, real life time. And I didn't realize it in the moment because, like I said, I wasn't very aware of what was going on around me, but I was told later that he was hovering over me so much that people were like, is that dude with the funeral home? Or is like, who's the dude that's watching him like the CIA right now? And he was just, that was his way of, like, making sure I was okay. And, like, it doesn't seem like much, but
so big.
For busted up people like us, it's everything.
Everything.
And that, for me, that's what it is. It's friends. Because I didn't have a lot of family, you know. I don't, very small tree, and the trunk got cut down. And so now it's friends. And I appreciated my friends before, but I think going forward, I'm definitely going to appreciate them a lot more. And maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe good shit can come from really bad shit.
Oh, yeah, it can. Heck yeah.
I'm going to get through one of these episodes without choking up. Yeah. I swear. It's going to happen.
See you in 6 months.
You know? Yeah.
Oh.
But it's a weird topic. You know, the whole how to react to different things, because like, you just don't know. I had a friend message me and say that 10 years ago he went to his uncle's funeral, and as he walked away, he told his aunt, "Have a nice day," and he still feels shitty about that. Says he thinks about it every day.
Oh man!
But I told him, you know, I guarantee that your aunt doesn't think about that.
No,
even if she remembers it, and she knew in that moment what you meant. You know. Yeah. It's we get it.
And gosh, don't be afraid to be funny about it. Like laugh at this with us. It seems like it's a topic you cannot crack a joke at, but I promise you we have a repertoire of dark jokes.
And probably some of the shit we've been saying each other is just way too soon. Yeah. But we're letting it slide.
It's what I got to do to get through.
I feel obligated now. Like, you hit me with a couple pretty gnarly mom jokes watching football last week, and you're like, go ahead and hit me with the dead son jokes. And I'm like, that's not that I'm above it morally. Now I feel like if I'm going to do it, it's got to be good. So I got to...
You better make it worth it.
Hit the old drawing board and really come up with some inappropriate shit. So just be ready for that.
I am looking
at some point.
So forward, and I am also horrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just... we contradict ourselves too. You know what I mean? Yeah. We think we want something one minute, and then it's like, well, we were wrong about that.
Yeah.
That's why we always say, like, we're not teachers, and we're not. Mm-mm. It sounds like we're giving advice, but the only advice we're giving really is on what we think and how we think.
So if you could think of us more as like a 3-year-old toddler, Like, we think we know what we want, but typically we have zero clue, and we will more than likely tantrum if you make the wrong choice. No pressure. Yeah. No pressure.
We're not saying that everything we just said might change in another week. We don't know. We don't.
Hit me up in the morning. We'll see if I need something different.
I couldn't be sure about it.
But listen, we say it all the time. Like, we appreciate you people who are our support system, whether you're near or you're far. It's through text messages. It's through, listening to the show or whatever. It really does mean everything. And don't overthink things. That's like the biggest takeaway I'd say is don't overthink it. Go with your heart. Check the heart first, then go with it. And yeah.
And don't second guess the response.
Oh yeah.
Because chances are that if the person's hurting that you're reaching out to, they don't know how to be appropriate.
Yeah. Hurt people.
Yeah. We have no idea how to react appropriately to most situations.
I'm doing my best out here. Oh, good one.
So I guess what we're trying to say is we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Keep caring.
Yeah.
Because that's all you can do. Just keep giving a shit. Not just about us, but about all your people.
Yes.
Check on your friends. Check on your family members. Not just when they're bummed out.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what makes the world go round.
Yeah. We can talk
Picking
about
each other up when we fall down and
talking about normal things too sometimes.
Yeah. And it goes back to, the distraction thing. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to need it going forward. Like, I'm going to need so much distraction in the next month and a half, because I'm almost positive me alone with my thoughts is going to be a real bad thing. It's not going to be very holly jolly at all.
And, shoot.
But there's a way through it.
Yeah. Together.
We're going to figure it out.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess in closing, thanks again for, paying attention. We are on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great. Not to sound like a broken record, but just keep in touch. If you got people in your life that are hurting, let them know you're there, but don't expect much in return, and be okay with it.
Yep.
If your question is how can I help, care, and be selfless about it.
And in the meantime,
we'll meet you where we can, and hang in there.